Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Cronkite Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another edition of the War Zone. I got my co-host, Donovan Sadiq, in the building, the Queen, Demetra K, and me, I just call him the Money Man. Walter Coach is back in the building. We get ready for class Saturday. So if you faking about this money, we finna find out. But if you really trying to get to the money, if you trying to get to the real bag, we finna get you there Saturday at 7 o'clock. It's about to go down, man. Say, man, I wanna welcome you to another edition of the War Zone. It's that time of the day, man. It's 7 o'clock in the evening, man, and I want to say top of the evening to you, and remind you that without you guys, we would not be able to do what we do. Is the people show. So, some nights, man, we gonna cut up, and some nights ain't no telling what we gonna do. But tonight we got the Money Man in the building, Walter Couture. He in the building because we getting ready for stock market class Saturday at 7 o'clock. Ain't gonna be no war zone because we gonna be in a private Zoom meeting trying to get to the bag, man. So all that faking a lot of y'all been doing by getting to the bag, we finna eliminate that, man. We on that Frank Lucas thing right now. We finna cut out the middleman. We finna cut out the middleman. We gonna go to Southeast Asia ourselves and go get them bricks, man. But we finna get this money the right way. Poe or not, we finna put our hands on the bag. I'm finna turn it over to the Queen, Demetra K.
So hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday night's edition of the War Zone. I hope everything is going well with you. And before we get into talking about money, I just want to bring to light the case of Elijah McClain. Some of you may have heard or seen his story trending. Well, Elijah McClain was a 23-year-old black man that was murdered by the Aurora, Colorado Police Department. 3 white police officers took it upon themselves to administer the chokehold to kill this young brother. Now, this young brother would often, a lot of people who knew him, including his friends and his family, talk about how loving and sweet he was, that even on his lunch breaks, because he played the violin, even on his lunch breaks, he would go to the, the vet where they have the pet shelter. Go to the pet shelter and play the violin for cats and stuff. And so he was also known as an introvert, people who really like to keep to themselves. And so I want to read to you guys the things that he was saying as they were choking him to death. And now, and I'll get into a little bit more details of exactly what happened to him, but just listen to this. I can't breathe. I have my ID here. My name is Elijah McClain. That's my house. I am going home. I am an introvert. Now, mind you, this is all the stuff he's saying as they are choking him. I'm an introvert. I'm just different. That's all. I'm sorry. I don't have a gun. I don't do that stuff. I don't do any fighting. Why are you attacking me? I don't even kill flies. I don't eat meat, but I don't judge people. I don't judge people who don't eat meat. Forgive me. All I was trying to do was become better. I will do it. I will do anything. Sacrifice my identity. I will do it. You are all phenomenal. You are beautiful. And I love you. Try to forgive me. I am a mood Gemini. I am sorry. I am so sorry. Ow, that really hurt. You are all very strong. Teamwork makes the dream work. And now he's crying. I am so sorry. I wasn't trying to do that. I just can't breathe correctly. So these are all the things that he was saying. Now, mind you, the police officers were telling each other to turn their body cams off so that none of the things that they were doing to him would be seen. But I guess once somebody else or another police officer had theirs on, and that's how they were able to hear all of the things that was happening to him. Now, mind you, they called the paramedics, and the paramedics administered 500 milligrams. They said he was very small. 500 milligrams of ketamine or something like that is something that they normally use to sedate horses. And they gave him double the amount So when he got to the hospital, like 6 days later, he died of the injuries. And in addition to what they did to him, now this happened last year. This virtually went unheard of. Now, you know, of course, with George Floyd being murdered, a lot of these other cases started to come out. So it should also be said that these officers, along with the paramedics, are still working. The DA found that there was no wrongdoing. And so now the governor has said that we owe it to his family to do a thorough investigation along with the FBI, including possible charges on the 3 white officers that ultimately took his life. So I just wanted to, you know, bring awareness to Elijah McClain's case. I'm sure there's a whole host of them. You know, now I'm sure I know there's a lot of cases that probably will come to the forefront now that, you know, the police are now being held to task. And just before I give the floor over to you guys, I don't know if you guys have been following Shaun King today and yesterday. Someone sent him. There's a police group, a group of retired police officers, and what they thought was a private Facebook messaging group, and they were plotting to kill him. They were talking about how they were going to do it, and these are Long Beach police officers who were saying that they were going to do a 6, and I guess that means that's a long mission to travel to go kill somebody. So they were actually talking about how they were going to kill him simply because he is trying to he is holding police officers accountable for taking Black life wholesale. And so that's what's going on. So I don't know if you guys have any opinions to talk about that.
Yeah, notice that the 6 is a military term. So again, a lot of your race soldiers and police departments get their initial training from the military. So
that's it.
Wow. I think some city and state governments are taking this movement serious, and they're gonna have to walk back a lot of these cases that they've already decided things on. You know, but the city of Houston, I don't know what the hell they doing. You know, they had a public safety hearing this morning, and they have a problem with people criticizing them. They actually cut me off in the middle of my speech. I'm trying to tell the lady, man, you violating federal law, so I'm just gonna file a federal lawsuit and keep it moving like that. But I mean, even sitting in that meeting, you'd have to heard it. The police department couldn't answer the questions of city council. The people that sit on the oversight board, they take no minutes when they have a meeting. You know, this is not that they're playing with this. And I'm sitting there listening to what you just said, and you know, it's just honestly the only way these people may be able to wake up. We got to make them suffer like we suffer. We got to make them suffer like these people they killing suffer. You know, because if they had to deal with that the same way, a lot of this will stop, man. These folk are not gonna hold them accountable. And just to let y'all know on this panel that the guy that's over the police union, because that was a big issue this morning, city council members taking money from the police union in Houston. Joe Grimaldi was fired by the NYPD. You know, Joe Grimaldi is over the Houston police department union. He was fired by the NYPD for excessive force. And this is the guy that runs the union that will defend a rogue cop in a heartbeat. And you want to tell us that we need to calm down? I don't think so.
All right. So I didn't mean to start off with something so grim, but I think, you know, I just think we need to, you know, bring awareness to those things. And, you know, hopefully Elijah McClain's family will get justice. And it just really has me choked up, you know, because it's, you know, it's just more or less like just reading all the things, you know, he's a kid to us, all the things that he said, you know, pleading for his life, even saying I'm wrong. And, you know, I love you. None of that stopped them from, you know, taking his life. In fact, I would just happen to believe they knew they were going to take his life because they wanted the body cams to be off. It just so happens one of them ended up staying on. And so I don't know. But anyway.
Well, that's a problem in itself. What's the point of spending hundreds of thousands of tax dollars for these damn body cams, and these guys have the power to turn them on and turn them off? You know, it's a bunch of bullcrap.
Right. All right, Walter. So we have you here, and I actually earlier I was talking to you, and and this is kind of where we're going to go from. And so Walter we're having a conversation, and he was saying, you know, it's really going to suck if Joe Biden is elected, and he had a pretty interesting spin on why. And so, Walter, I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor and tell the people why you said it would really suck for Joe Biden, other than some obvious stuff, to win the presidency.
Well, again, like I always, I want to preface my comments. I try and look at the big picture. I know we have two, what I consider pretty, I don't know if I want to use the word evil, maybe evil for one, and just, you know, wolf in sheep clothing in the other one. But I was mainly talking about a financial position. See, and I've been listening to Dr. Claude Anderson all this week, and I've just, for those of you that know me, know that I tend to think about wealth and money all the time. So I was watching CNBC, and one of the anchors was saying that Joe Biden, you know, is heavy on the immigration. And then I saw one of your posts, Dia, like Joe Biden, his first day in office, he's going to give 11 million people that should not be here legally, give them residency or something. That's going to be his thing. Now, I like all people. You know, I have a lot of Mexican friends. Oh, I sound like an old white lady. I have black friends, but I'm like this. If you break the law, you break the law, right? So I imagine going to Spain and saying, oh, hell no, I'm staying. Do you know what they would do to me? Or if you went to Russia or any country like that and said, I'm staying. Matter of fact, not only am I staying, I'm going to ask for benefits. And so I'm going to bring 11 million of my people over here, and I'm going to fight for the jobs that the people that live here need. So what I was saying was that the Joe Biden, if he gets his way with the immigration bill, that is going to hurt black people more than any other race. Because unfortunately, we can totally change this, but it's going to take some time, is those are the jobs that tend to go to African-American people. And we are, you know, on the bottom of the socioeconomic pole. We can totally change that, which is why we're doing this show. But that's like a slap in the face to black people. To get on there and say, if you vote for Trump, you ain't black, and all the shucking and jiving that Joe Biden does, then to turn around and say the first thing he's going to do in the middle of an African-American chaos is help the illegal immigrants become here legally. I'm going to use you Negroes to get me in office, but I'm going to go help the illegal immigrants. Now, if you're from, I don't care if you're Chinese, Mexican, Haitian, Cuban, this goes for all. It's not just a Mexican. I want to make sure this is clear. If you're from Haiti and you're not here legally, then you are breaking the law, right? Chinese, doesn't matter. African, wherever you're from, because I don't think this should just be a Mexican thing. And I think the media, they do that to get us against each other. It's not just about Mexico. It's about all countries that come here and break the law. So why would you, think about this for a second. And maybe I sound a little, I don't know. It's just I'm going to sound the way I'm going to sound. Imagine taking 11 million people, and now the dreamers and the DACA kids and all that stuff, if you came and you were a kid born here, you came here little, I think you should stay, right? But imagine taking 11 million people that are not supposed to be here legally, making them leave and come back and doing it the right way. What would that do for jobs for African Americans and all kinds of people? So, and I just think that when you look at Joe, he's clearly about the vote. He came to black people and said, I need your help. Because if you take South Carolina primary out the mix, he's not in position. He's gone. Black people came to this dude's rescue, and it's before the ink even dried on the ballots, he said, I'm going to go help somebody else. That's madness, number one. Number two, I told my one of my buddies today, actually I was talking to my son, I said, if Joe Biden wins, I'm taking my money out the stock market. Let me tell you why. I don't like Donald Trump. I think he's a piece of crap, period. I don't like him. But like me and my sister were talking earlier, what Donald Trump is doing is he's waking black people up. Because if you know an enemy is at your front door with a weapon, you're going to be on full alert. See, at least with Donald Trump, I know he don't like me. I know he's for himself. He's for the good old boy. If it was his way, Congress would be all white men, right? I know where he's coming from with Joe. He's a cloak and dagger. You don't know where Joe is. So all I'm saying is, wouldn't it make sense to get your money right first and then deal with all this other stuff? See, because I hear people say, well, oh, Trump gave the rich people a tax cut. I got a tax cut too, and I don't consider myself rich, right? I mean, Donovan, maybe, I don't know, maybe his tax cut was bigger than mine. But I got a tax cut, and a good one. And so I used my tax break and I put it in my business. And we all have the ability. So I just think at the end of the day, we need to, as black people, start thinking about our pocketbook, right? I don't care if Joe Biden wins. He's not going to do shit for black people. But we actually, in my opinion, if Joe Biden wins, it will be worse for black people because we will go back to being comfortable. When you have an enemy at the gate, you're on full alert. This dude, black people, hallelujah, whatever, swing low. Joe Biden is not doing it. Actually, none of them are doing anything for us. But at this point, I'm looking at my finances because I know when I have money in my pocket, I can do more things, right? Like if you're wealthier, let's just break it all down. If your money's in a better position, you live in a better neighborhood. Right now, I didn't follow the George Floyd thing maybe as much as I should have. It just seemed like there was so much going on. But like, what if we could take our people and go to nicer neighborhoods? Or then we could have cops that look like us. Wouldn't that make more sense? I don't know. Maybe I'm off. So anyway, that's my point about Joe Biden. I don't like him.
No, you're really not off, because I'm gonna shock y'all. Don't the cops look like the people in the white neighborhood?
Oh yeah.
You just seem to drop them off in our neighborhood when the sun go down. You drop them off, they nasty ass attitudes and everything else they bring to the table.
Right. So you guys, we have to, like, our time is running out. This is it for us. You realize this is it for black people, right? We have more attention than we are ever going to get. We have the whole, like, think about this for a second. I know white people who are more pissed about George Floyd dying than we appear to be. The whole world is like, okay, enough is enough. But what are we going to do with it? Like, we have the whole floor. We need to get our stuff. This is it for black people. I promise you. In 3 or 4 years, when all this dies down, whatever it is, it's it. It's going to be like you had your chance. The whole world marched for you. We gave you guys billions of dollars to your so-called black leaders. We are done with you. Get over it. So we need to make some moves. And we need to do it quick. And black people, please, I don't want to keep having the same conversation with us about money. It is idiotic that we cannot take 15, 20% of our money and put it away somewhere. Like, it makes no sense to me. Like, that's something you tell a third grader. Hey, little kid, here's a piggy bank. Put your money in it when you get it. My kids understand that. But at some point, we as people, we just fall away from that. We are never going to have power until we have money. If a cop pulls my ass over and he beats me up, I'm calling my lawyer. I'm going to write my lawyer a check, and I'm going to go get my money from the police, assuming I live. And if I die, my kid's going to dig in my bank account and pay a lawyer and get this money. Things just go easier when you have money set to the side. And black people, we were watching, you guys should all go watch the Dave Chappelle special. What was that? That was the one that just came out. Did you see it? That, oh, you're muted, so I guess you can just nod.
Yeah, I saw it 8:46.
Not 8:46. The one he just dropped on Netflix when he got the Mark Twain Award. I just noticed
before that.
Okay, well, I just saw it. So, but it was filmed last year, I think.
Yeah. You're talking. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I saw it.
When he had Mos Def, and he had all those people on there. That was a really, really big, that was a cool tribute to Dave Chappelle. But you know what Dave Chappelle is? He's powerful. Like I watched him rip Candace Owen, Don Lemon, all these people, and they didn't come after him. I thought Candace Owen I thought they were going to have to meet the street, right? But he has power. He's obviously, you know why Dave Chappelle's so famous? Because he turned down $50 million. And he was rich. Every time I hear Dave Chappelle, I hear the $50 million that he turned down and went to Africa, whatever happened to him. He's got power and he's got money. The Dave Chappelle show was him and his buddy. He's got power, so people listen to him. Imagine if more of us strive to be like that, but we can just get behind the money first. So, and let me skip. We talked about the class, right? Yeah, 846, that was it. I'm doing the stock option class, and I want to be clear. It's Saturday. For me, it's 5 o'clock. And my sister tell you, Donovan, on Saturday, I'm generally in a foreign country or in a foreign state. I haven't seen my neighborhood on the weekend in years. So I'm going to be here sitting in the same position or somewhere close on this podcast so I can do the stock option class for you guys. So it looks like we have about, 70 spots. I'm not sure. But you guys need to fill them. I don't really care about the money. It doesn't do anything for me. I mean, I'll take it. I'll use it. But what I'm more interested in is getting our people educated. Like this, I've been in this business since 1997, I think. Geez, that's a long time. Over 20 years. So I'm taking what I've learned in those 20 years and I'm bringing it on Saturday. Stock options, stocks. We're going to talk about building wealth. And I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm not going to beat around the bush. I'm going to give you some tips that we're using. Like I'll tell you guys right now, and I don't want to wait till Saturday because the deadline is running. Do you know that some of you guys right now on this podcast or watching this have the ability to go get the PPP or the PPP money from the stimulus? Unemployment, they have the Cabbage loan, the SBA loan, which is at 3%. The Cabbage loan is at 1%. And you know that most people I talk to don't even realize they could get it. And if you were an Uber driver, self-employed, if you sold life insurance, if you did anything, if you swept chimneys, you could go get some of this money, this PPP money through Cabbage there. It's like instantaneous. Or some of the SBA loans, or some of these things are out there for you guys. And it takes days, not months. It takes days. So if you had a side hustle, you could go to them and they will pay you. The PPP loan is 1% interest, and the SBA loan is 3% interest. They run your Experian credit report, and they'll make a decision. And right now, that loan, that SBA funding, you could apply on Saturday, Monday. It could so. Let me break it plain. Today is what? Thursday. On today you can apply for this money, and on Monday, if they give it to you, it could be in your account. That's big. Like if you can get between the PPP, the unemployment. Like I had an Uber driver go, "Oh, I can't get unemployment because I'm an Uber driver." I said, "Man, you need to start watching the right channels." I said, "How long has it been?" He said, "I was out of work 3 months." I said, "Do you realize they will go back till early February and it will cut you up to $1,000 check for every single week?" He goes, "No." I said, "Yeah, they'll cut you a check." I have a guy in my house. I have somebody just left my house. That's where I was earlier. He just left. He called me. I promise you, with his bed, what his fireplace is, while I be trying to get the party started. I was laying in this bed, and he called me, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to answer the phone for the brother. I called him. That was last week. He's got $20,000 headed to his bank account because we got him the PPC and the unemployment. So some of you guys can go ahead and get that money and tell people to tell everybody the program ends like on the 30th. So the government, they're giving us the money. Let's go over and let's get it. And then what you can do with like what I'm doing with my loans is I'm using it in my PP is I'm using it to grow my business. You can use it for advertising and you should get advice. But like if the government's willing to, and the PPP loan looks like a lot of it is going to be forgivable. So they're cutting you a check and saying you most likely, I believe it's under 150,000. It looks like it could be forgivable, right? I see some of you guys, Roy said he got his SBA loan. I heard that. Right. So some people are saying I can't get through the unemployment application. You can send me a direct message and I'll walk you through it for a small fee. No. Hey, I'm done working for free, damn it. My daughter taught me that for a small fee. So maybe I taught her that. So you guys, I'll give you an idea. Even if you got, because some of you guys, the unemployment application, there's a way to fill it out. And so, truly we could help you with that. But if you fill it out right, they will go retroactive. Like I don't know. I went back to February and they cut me a check all the way from February to right now. And then it's $1,000 a week while this is going on. You see what I'm saying? And so there's things out there for us that we could use. And they don't ask you how much money you have in your bank account or any of that stuff. They just say, was your income affected by the virus? And my income, one of my businesses, it was affected. And so I use that, right? So I want you guys to go out and get these programs. And then what you could do, you understand, like, you can start, I don't care what your business is. Some of these marketing companies are looking for clients. You could pay them $300, $400, $500, $1,000, and they will put together a marketing program and market your business. If it's hat, shoes, if you're selling cars, I don't know, blenders, roof rack, whatever it is, you could use that money to get your business started. So that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about building your wealth and doing it quick. And I don't care what, like, I don't know. Is the horse dead already?
That's okay. It needs to be beat.
We've been whooping this horse's ass for so long. Like, you guys, everyone on this podcast and everyone that ever hears my voice should listen to Dr. Claude Anderson. And my sister put me on to him. So I watched his stuff yesterday, and he's saying the same thing every single time. Can you guys answer a question for me? How come Claude Anderson isn't where Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton is? Why is when Black people look for leadership, why is Al Sharpton, it's a good book, why is Al Sharpton in the front and not Dr. Claude Anderson?
Because he a snitch.
Because,
He a snitch.
Oh, Dr. Claude's a snitch?
No, he talking about Jesse Jackson.
Jesse. Oh, like,
no, Al Sharpton in the FBI.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, I have the answer for that if you're interested in the answer.
I am.
The answer is because we as Black people have gotten used to the puffery, if you will. We like to feel good. We like to, as they said, Obama said, the hope and change and, rainbow coalition and, together we can. And instead of, some real hard truths that come out of a book like Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson, and if you ever watch any videos, you can watch a lot of his videos on YouTube. He gets right to it. He's not like, well, class, He's like, nah, Black people are underclass, and you're going to be a permanent underclass unless you do these things. And as Walter said earlier, this is our last shot as Black people to move the ball. After this, we're done. We are done completely. As he said, we have the world's attention. We can get anything we want if we would only mobilize. And it's unfortunate that these things are going on during election season because we have such a schism. We're going to hand Joe Biden the presidency, and he's going to hand us absolutely nothing. And Dr. Claude Anderson talks about that in this book as far as Black people should vote in blocks. Because in fact, he says, we're the only race of people that vote in a block. We vote more so for the Democratic Party. We just do. No other race does that. White people vote Democrat, Republican, Independent, and all the other kind of stuff. But predominantly Black people vote Democrat. So we're voting in a block, and we're not getting anything from it at all. He says that voting should be a quid pro quo relationship, give and take. All right, we vote for you, and then you give something to us like everyone else gets.
Right. He said something that made sense to me, and I love it. He says you buy politicians. You buy them. Donovan will tell you he's on the Edgemont Explorer, or what did you call your show? The Edgemont what?
The Inland Empire.
The Inland Empire.
Informer.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how much power Donovan has. So I'm selling life insurance and doing financial planning, and I was in this business. I was trying to bring on this business partner who was this councilman or something like that. And I was in Donovan's hood. I said, "Oh, you know my boy Donovan." And I've never seen somebody's face turn so white. He goes, "Oh, this meeting is over." Hell no. That cost me money too, but whatever. I understand what he was talking about. But the point being is he was bought. People paid, gave him the money, and then he turned right around and gave them what they wanted. We as Black people need to buy these politicians. Hey, man, I gave you $1 million from my company, and I expect you to do this for me. Or we just want, next time we'll give the money to your opponent. That's all there is to it. We're not going to get power by voting for these cats. We get money, we get power by buying these cats. And you can't buy these cats unless you have money. Period. And how you have money is to start cutting your expenses. I have somebody just left my house. The wife last week wanted a Volvo. Oh, it's beautiful and it's nice. I said, the hell with that Volvo. Let me tell you what Volvo CEO is doing tonight. He or she sipping on a martini, overlooking some beautiful Riviera in their $1 billion house. And you sitting here making car payments. You guys, cut the car payments. You don't get rich taking 10, 15, 20% of your income and making a car payment. Think about this for a second. When is the last time you pulled your car up and it got you a job or it got you a benefit? I mean, like, you can use your car to look good. You realize you can rent a car on Turo to pull up to a job interview or pull up, you know, if I wanted to impress a woman, I would just rent a car. You know, if I wanted to look good for a meeting, you could go on Turo, you can rent a Tesla for $100 a day and get it out the way. The point I'm making is you need to stop making these car payments. You guys, like, it's got to be over. I put a thing on my social media page and I had a few people unfriend me. And on CNBC, it said the black dollar. Go to my Facebook page, you'll see it. It said the black dollar, 89% of the black dollar, hair care and beauty. And the announcers, and they're two white dudes, Jim Cramer, and like, I don't know the other dude's name. And the look on their face when that popped on the screen, I know they were like, these niggas. Like, I couldn't wait to go get a beer and talk behind with the camera off. How do you build wealth? 90% of your wealth goes towards beauty and hair care. That's insane to me. That makes zero sense. Black people, this is 100% our fault. Like, the reason I brought up Dave Chappelle earlier, because on his special, he did the reparations thing. And they always go back to that. You know, I'm rich, bitch. Remember that? And so they keep bringing it up because it's true. Like, you guys, you have to watch it. I know you guys have all seen Dave Chappelle, that episode of Reparations. But can I ask you a question? Is any of that stuff true? If Black people got their money, would Cadillac stock go through the roof? Would everybody have an Escalade? Would like, would like, you understand what I'm saying? You guys, and we could all do it. Like, what we should do is start a channel for Black wealth, and just every week. Go ahead.
What I want to say, when you said that was, it might not be an Escalade or something like that, but it's gonna be something, because there's a trait that we have, that we're irresponsible when we're broke. So if we got some money, we definitely gonna be irresponsible. We're gonna be capping and irresponsible.
Yep. So you guys, we are an emotional people. We need to cut the emotions out. We need to save you guys. I'm telling you, there's stuff that I want to do with my life. I want, you know, this Range Rover, Donovan, you know what I'm talking about. They have the new Range Rover with the black with the white cream interior. It's sick. I want one of those. And I want that new car smell, but I don't want to kill my net worth like that. You know, like, one of my buddies was like, hey man, why don't you move to a giant house? I'm like, for what? I don't even use the house space I got. I got 2 bedrooms in this house I never see. But I would rather build I tell you what, man, when my money started growing and my wealth started, I can't tell you what it did for me. It's just a peace of mind when you don't have to have a lot of money. But here's what I told one of my clients that just left. Imagine you have no more credit card debts, no mortgage, none of that stuff. Now, if you have a mortgage, I get it. But imagine having no debt and just money coming through the door, just income. Just imagine that for a second. Like Donovan. No credit cards, no mortgage payment, got money coming in if he kick it with the cat or not. Like, that is peace of mind. All of us can be in that situation. Start cutting your expenses, you guys. Let these expenses go. The cars, the jewelry, black women. Let me tell you something. I'm going to talk to you guys for 1 second. So I was at the pool, right? In Vegas. I'm lying. I was going to say I was social distancing, but I was in the pool at Venetian. And you think there was no virus. I had my mask on. I walked into the pool. I was like, I'm the only one out here with a mask on. It's 105 degrees. So I'm in the pool, and the sister pulls up. She didn't pull up next to me. She swam up next to me. And we were just kind of talking. And I said, her hair was hooked straight. Her hair was perfect. I told the person I was with, all the black women, none of them are getting in this water below. they're not getting their hair wet. I can promise you, every sister in the pool, their hair was whipped. Like it was beautiful. So I talked to the sister. I said, who does your hair? She goes, I do my own hair. I said, you got the baddest hair in this pool. She goes, yeah, I know. I do it myself. I said, you need to go to the pool to all these black women and tell them you can do their hair. Because if we got to this whole conversation about hair and money, and she lives in San Bernardino too. And I was like, you need to I'm always thinking about making money. I was like, me and you can start something, I'll bring a man, you do the hair, we split the money. But like her hair, she goes, I do it myself. She goes, yeah, it takes a little bit longer, but it saves me $300-400 a month. So think about this, black women. Like, I know it takes a while to do your hair, I get it. But what if you just took that and you saved that $300-400 a month? In a year, you would have $5,000. And you get the point, right? So just things like that. And, fellas too, we black men, we blow money. So, we need to cut with the cars and all that stuff, But if you're going to have a vice, make sure you save money first, right? One of my clients says, I spent $1,500 on wigs last month. I said, you forever lose permission to talk about the white man, reparations, Trump. You lost all ability to ever complain again. You are killing our people. And who did you buy the Korean? She got the good wig. I said, okay. So you spending $1,500 with the Koreans. That's what you're saying. And yet on your Facebook page, you bitching about Trump and reparations. You're killing yourself, right? So I'm going to take some questions, read some of these comments. Somebody was asking me about solutions. It's easy. This is not trickery. Just put money away. That's it. Just start with $1, $2 a day. Just in my bedroom back here, I have a jar. Like every day I go in there and I take my change. When I do spend cash, I put it in this jar. And I take everything under a $20 bill and I put in this jar in this bucket. Anything under a 20, I put in there and I don't touch it. I just leave it. Right? D got one. So, and I put it in this jar, and then once in a while I go and I collect it and I'll put it in the bank or do something with it. And so we can start doing that. I mean, there's so many ways you guys can save money, but we have to do it now. Otherwise, we're going to be extinct as a race. Because I promise you, when Joe get in there, he ain't gonna do nothing for us. None of them are. And I'm not promoting Trump either. I do not like Donald Trump. Let's just be clear. I don't like him. I don't like the way he treats people. I don't know how he gets away with all this stuff on TV. I was watching his rally. I watched the whole thing. Yeah, you were there. I was watching it. And I'm just looking at this fool. I'm like, no one's wearing a mask. And then he talked about the Kung flu. And I thought maybe I heard it wrong. I said, I know he didn't say the Kung flu. And then people always say, if that would have been Obama, he would. You know what the difference is between Obama and Trump? Is Trump's people got money. Period. Because when you are rich, you can get away with stuff. How is Jerry Epstein? He's dead now, but how is he out of jail this long? Like, there's people in the Me Too movement who hugged a chick too long and lost their whole career. Jerry Epstein has done stuff to people. I mean, he should have been dead the first time. You know why he didn't go to jail? Because he had money and he was hanging out with rich people that were doing freaky stuff. Right? What is that? A bar of gold, Donovan? Right? So, so here's another thing. I hope this is making sense to you guys. I heard somebody say, and it was a woman, and I didn't like what she said, but it was true. She goes, Walter, if you are rich, a woman will let you hit her. If you are rich, she will let you cheat on her. She will let you abuse her if you have money. And I was like, you know what? That ain't right. And I thought about it. And then I went back through all the old Tyler Perry movies I watched. And I was like, I said, that's horrible. Wouldn't it be nice? And I want my daughters, and me and my daughter, Brittany, we talk about this. Her man don't hit her because he would be missing. But me and her talk about money every time she calls. Oh, Dad, he's not like he says. I'm just, a housewife is really not much. I said, Brittany, take his advice, make some money. So now she got a little job. She's making some money. Now me and her don't talk about him no more. She's like, Dad, I got money. What am I supposed to do? What's with the E-Trade thing? I said, won't you be the first person not to ask me about E-Trade? So my point is her position is stronger now because she's making her own money. And I said, Brittany, your husband, your man is working. You should be stacking your money. Because I tell you what, if you look up, your man look up 5 years later and you say, oh, yeah, I've been, remember all these years I've been working, I have $50,000 saved. His tone will change. I promise you. When you bring, Les Brown said, when you have money, people will find stuff cute about you. Money makes you powerful. Period. Period. I think Bill Cosby he's getting a new trial or something, right? An appeal. He's got money. I promise you, Bill Cosby was a broke black dude. He would not be getting an appeal. Period. Right? And I don't know. I'm not saying what he did. I don't know what he did. I didn't follow the Cosby case, but I'm just saying.
Innocent.
Right. Okay. So maybe he is. I wasn't there. Right. I wasn't there. But speaking of Bill, we should take some responsibility too. I tell my daughter, if a man invite you to his hotel room at 2 a.m., don't go. Unless you want to sleep with him. Period. Yeah, don't do it. Use some common sense. That's all there is to it. Right? So, anyways, I want to somebody's asking me what to buy. Let me tell you what I bought today. Wells Fargo. So those of you guys that watch the news today, the banks, the FDIC are loosening the restrictions on the banks. They're letting the banks buy hedge funds now. Let me tell you, I love watching TV when it's about me. So the banks, Wells Fargo, they're allowing the banks to invest in hedge funds. That is detrimental to the people long term, but it's going to help the companies right now. I can tell you, Wells Fargo, B of A. So what I did is I doubled down on the stock options. I bought these $37.50 and the $40 and the $45 calls. And I'm going to talk about this on Saturday in Wells Fargo. For 30-40 cents, you can control a share of Wells Fargo for a year. For 60 cents, $1, you can control it for $1, you can control it for a year and a half. So what's going to happen is, in my opinion, when these banks, because what's happening now is you have the people watching out for themselves. Like Sheila Blair is the old FDIC chairman. She's a woman. And there's a good movie on HBO called Too Big to Fail. You should watch. It is Perfect. If you want to get rich, you got to watch Too Big to Fail, The Big Short, Margin Call, Wall Street. Watch these movies. Sheila Blair goes, this is going to be detrimental to the people because these banks are going to start taking money, flipping it. They're going to do things. They're going to get rich. But long term, it's not going to help the people. And so I went down heavy and I bought a bunch of Wells Fargo stock options, Bank of America stock options. I just started buying. And let me tell you, before I can even finish buying, the stocks had already jumped up. Literally. So today you could have took $5,000 at 6 a.m. and at 9:30, it was 7,500. Just like that from an announcement. But you have to be ready. You have to be in those positions. You guys, we need to start. Let's turn the politics off for a little bit. Like, vote for who you're going to vote. Whoever's going to win is going to win. But you need to worry about your money. Period. Like, you want to own stuff. I know Donovan owns MGM. You probably own it right now. You walk in, like I walked into the Bellagio, which I believe is still an MGM casino. And I was talking to one of the people that worked there. And I said, you know what? I'm just here checking on my money. And she started laughing. I said, no, I'm serious. I own stock in this joint. Like, this is you work for me. Right? I was kind of playing with it, but I'm dead serious. You own stock in MGM. That is your business. Right? ExxonMobil, their stock price, one of their stock options went from $6 to $1 or something. So I bought a bunch of that today. So when I go to an ExxonMobil, that's my business. And when you own the business, people, you will treat them and yourself better. And so we as Black people, we can start our own businesses and then we can invest in companies and then we can use those businesses. Does that make sense? And it's cheap, you guys. So anyways, I'm buying the banks right now. The oil companies I'm buying, I bought a little bit of the cruise ships. The cruise ships are going to have a rocky road because they're postponing their launch, right? They have 40,000 people stranded at sea. I don't know what that's like. But sooner or later, these cruise ships are going to be sailing again. So if you're a bottom feeder, you could buy the cruise ships. I'm buying the long-term stock options, which I'll talk about on Saturday. But you can buy these and hold on to them. You guys, I'm telling you, if you get $5,000 right now and you could put it in a position where you don't need it, don't touch it. If you need the money soon, don't touch it. Don't put it there. I'm only putting money in my stock option portfolio that I do not need right now. And I'm not looking to touch it. That's all there is to it. Right? So if you don't need it and you could take $5,000 and you want to put yourself in a position where $5,000 could be $50,000, this is the time to do it. I am dead serious. Right? So this is a good time to build your wealth. Some of you guys know people that own houses. Like one of my clients just left. Both of them, they own a couple houses. And then she goes, hey, I have money in my annuity. It's been sitting there for decades. I go, how much is it? And, it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. She goes, I didn't want to touch it because there's a penalty. Some of you guys have money in IRAs, 401ks, or pension plans that you can use. She goes, they're going to charge me 6% penalty. I said, so you'd rather pay 25% on a credit card? You guys realize there are companies out there. There's a company called Net Credit. They want 65% interest rate. Loan me. Wilshire Capital. Do you guys realize these payday loan companies are at 500% interest? You mean to tell me that you don't want to take a 6% penalty, but you'd rather pay 65%? Are you losing your mind? I hear Chuck D, Public Enemy, that Farrakhan sample they took. Some of us have lost our mind. Like, this is insanity. We need our asses kicked. Some of you have money sitting in the bank earning 1% that you can move somewhere and get 3. You know what I'm saying? I just found out they have a new mortgage where it's a line of credit. You can take your paycheck and put in this line of credit and reduce the interest you pay on your mortgage. There's so many tools out there. If you know anybody that's over 62 years old and they own a house and they have equity, there's something called a reverse mortgage that was created for the middle class where you could do this loan and not have a mortgage payment ever again, and take that money and save it and do something with it. One of my clients is paying almost $3,000 on a mortgage. And they go, we want to pay the house off for the kids. I said, to hell with those kids. Like, your kids are doing better than you. Forget those kids. You know what you do with your kids? Buy a bunch of life insurance and leave them that. That house belongs to you. So I said, you realize you could do a reverse mortgage in your $3,000 mortgage payment? Puff the magic dragon. It's gone. He goes, well, I heard some negative things about that. I said, what's negative about having $3,000 a month extra to invest in your future? Take a little bit by life insurance and you invest the rest. I mean, we just have to understand there's things that are created for everybody that we use. We as Black people, we are not using. And we need to change our conversations. I mean, I do keep up with what's going on in the media and all that stuff. But like sometimes you have to watch other stuff too. Right? Bloomberg television is free if you have E-Trade. CNBC, you can Google how to watch CNBC for free and watch it for free. Now, if you have cable, you should pay for me. You should watch it. But there's links out there. You can watch it for free. Yahoo Finance is free on your smart TV. It's free. So you have these 3 channels that you can watch and you can learn, even if you watch it for a couple hours a day. It's not exciting at first, but you know what's exciting about watching CNBC and Bloomberg is when you have money invested, then the news, it makes sense to you. Right, Donovan, I know you were affected by this. American Airlines, they were in the news. They borrowed $5 billion, something like that. They got a better interest rate. So long term, I think that's going to help them. And I heard Orange Head, Donald Trump say, we're going to help Boeing. I went, okay, like if that's not a stock tip, what is? Right? I mean, like, so he goes, oh, it's a great company. They're going to be great, whatever he always says. So I went, okay. Boeing long-term makes sense. Right now, Boeing's getting hurt. But long-term, it's good. Somebody asked me about the reverse mortgage. Okay. The reverse mortgage was created for what I consider the upper middle class. It's an investment tool. How it works is, somebody said, F those kids. I didn't want to say that, but yeah, the class is being recorded. I've said F those kids, but just not right now. The reverse mortgage works like this. Right, I have a house that's worth $500,000, and I'm 70 years old. Let's say I owe $100,000 on it, and I'm paying $1,000 a month. I'm paying principal and interest. What the mortgage company says is, I tell you what, on a reverse mortgage, what we're going to do, and generally they'll let you take about 50% of the equity or 50% of the value up to a certain amount, depending on your age, and they'll say, okay, great, we're going to give you that money over a 2-year period. We're going to give it to you. What we're going to do is charge you interest on the money we give you, but we're going to take it from the remaining equity. So if the house is worth $500,000 and they give you $250,000, they will pay off the $100,000 you own. They will give you $150,000 in cash, and then you will pay. So you have $250,000 left in equity, right? The interest that on the money you borrowed comes out of the other equity. So what they're doing is giving you $150,000 plus the $1,000 a month that you were spending, you get back. So you can invest that $1,000 every month plus the $150,000 they give you, and you never have a mortgage payment again. So people go, like he was like, oh, I heard the reverse mortgage is horrible for Black people. Yeah, it is, because we don't get all the advice. How many old Black people got a house paid off and they sitting there borrowing money from their kids living check to check? Old grandmama got a house that's worth $600,000, and she don't have a pot to piss in, but she got a house, and she can pull $200,000-$300,000. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Am I going off?
No, you're fine. Gary, you all right?
Oh.
Gary, you all right?
Taking notes.
Oh, you okay. I thought maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, you're crazy. So the point I'm making is this is a wealth tool. Now the bank, when the person, because you can stay in the house for as long as you want, when the person dies, the bank gives you a year to work it out. That means you have a year, no mortgage payments. So one of my clients called me, he's like, Walter, I don't have no money. I send my mom $300-$400 a month. I said, give me your mama's phone number. So I called her and I said, your daughter sending you money every month and she don't have it. She goes, baby, the only thing I got is this house that's paid off. I got this barbershop that's paid off. I got $60,000 sitting in annuities. And I got, between me and you, about $100,000 in the attic or something like that. I said, you realize your daughter has no money, no house, she's paying rent. She goes, well, the depression really screwed me up. I said, it don't look like it. This woman had a net worth of almost $400,000. So I called her daughter back and I told her. So she got on the next flight to go visit her mama. So I did a reverse mortgage for her mom and we gave her $150,000 cash, plus the $60,000 she had on annuities, plus some of the other money. So now she went from being depression era scared to, Walter, what do I do with $250,000? I said, that's a good problem to have. That lady died. Her daughter got the house and they had in this case, they had 2 years, no mortgage payment. The bank gave them a year or two to figure it out with no mortgage payment, nothing, right? And so then here's the other cool part, you guys. This is why you need to talk to your family and friends and your parents. She's going in the house, right? You ever had somebody die, old family member, and you cleaning out the house? She has this bag, right? Picture this. And she's throwing stuff in the trash, and she picks up this bag, and she throws it, and she hears a thump. She goes, oh, that ain't trash. There's something in that bag. Do you realize she opened up this bag? There was $50,000 in $100 bills wrapped in rubber bands in this plastic bag. And she goes, Walter, I don't know what to say. I've been sending my mom money for decades to the point where I don't have a retirement. I am broke, and this woman has been sitting on all this money all these years. I said, you should talk to your mama. Mom, what do you have saved? And now, to this day, my client's getting a monthly check from the money that her mama left her. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, I get it. The reverse mortgage and some of these things, stocks are scary. But like, what's scarier is being broke. So some of you guys have your grandmas and your parents that are sitting on this house and they're not doing anything with it. They're going to die, leave you the house, and it's just going to be blown. Wouldn't it be better if you did something right now? Does that make sense? What questions do you guys have? Damn in the attic. Hell yes. It's exactly where it was.
I got a question.
Yes.
People want to know how to sign up for the class.
Here's what I need you to do. Send me a message on Facebook and go to my Cash App, which is on the screen. Right now, there's about 30 people in the class so far.
What's your Cash App?
So the Cash App is on the screen, I believe. Isn't that it, Donovan? I'll type it in too. Yeah, it's on the screen right there.
It's on the screen, Gary, on the banner.
It's on a banner?
Yeah, it says stock market class June 27th, 7 p.m. Cost of $25 Cash App.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there it is. I'm sorry.
No worries.
So we are doing this class, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff we'll go over, but like we have, and I think one of the comments was, my mom didn't want me to know. I don't really care. You need to know. Like, we as Black people are so secretive when it comes to our money. When I go to dinner with white people, you know what they talk about the whole damn time? Money. How much money we got? Something happens to me. You got this. You get this. They talk about money. And I'm just like, we want to be like that. People say money's not everything, but if you open the Bible, it's all they talk about. All they talk about in the Bible, every single religion, talk about the money. So we as Black people who are we're more religious than any other race in human history, right? Here's one thing. I know one thing, the Black church is going to be packed this Sunday. Wouldn't it be nice if they just took 10 minutes out of that sermon and talked about finances, not put money in the bucket? I realize we got to put money in the bucket, right? But what about just put money in your bucket, right? What's in your wallet? I had to get on a minister once. I was like, no, don't tell people. Don't do that to people. Don't tell them annuities are dangerous. So what's dangerous is putting money in your Cadillac fund. That's dangerous. That's hurting our people, right? I was getting my hair cut. I'll leave him nameless. And I saw a cat in a G5 pull up with creased Levi's and crystal clean outfit. Hopped in the chair next to me with the baddest beard. And I looked over. I said, that's Pastor so-and-so. He said, yeah, he drove the G5 today and not the Ferrari.
I know you guys have seen him on the Pastors of LA. His church, I swear for God, is a 2-minute drive from my house.
I drive past it almost every time I go to Dee's house. Anyways, I'm gonna leave him alone. He's got one of the churches in the poorest neighborhoods in Riverside County. But he's got the nerve to park a Ferrari, a G5, a Bentley. You have them all parked there too. No shame. I'm not against him having a Bentley, but why don't you help your people get some stuff too? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, and Dave Ramsey, here's the thing about Dave Ramsey. If your financial advisor isn't speaking to you, don't take their advice. I had somebody say, Dave Ramsey told me to close all my credit cards. Did he tell you your credit score is going to drop 100 points? Because you had a credit card for 10 years and you closed it and that was your longest history? He says, oh, don't mess with your 401k, but you can borrow money from your 401k at 3%, but you'd rather pay First Main 29%, right? If somebody don't take advice from people like Dave Ramsey and Susie Orman are selling books. Don't get it twisted, right? You think Dave Ramsey really has term insurance and that's all he's got? You don't think he's got money sitting in life insurance cash value? You think his mama don't have a reverse mortgage? Please, don't start with that stuff. Right? And let me tell you something too. I think debt is good if you have it under control, right? PPC, they just loan me money at 1%. I'll say, let me get this straight. It's only 1%. I have to whisper it. It's only 1%? And I don't have to pay on it for 6 months? You mean the SBA is willing to give me money at 3.75% and I don't have to pay on it for a year and they won't let me hold it for 30 years? Let me tell you something, you guys. I could take my SBA. Now, you can't really do this with SBA, so maybe I should use another example. But, like, you could take, even if your credit cards, since some of you guys could have these credit 0% interest rates for 18 months, couldn't I not take my 0% money and go buy something and flip it and double my money and pay them back and keep the difference? That's what banks do, right? Here's what I want you to do next time you walk into the bank. I want you to walk into the bank. I want you to make a deposit. And I want you to imagine there are 9 people sitting in those chairs, and you're going to give them that dollar, and they're going to give you 0% interest, and they're going to turn around and loan all those people, those 9 people, that same dollar and charge them 15 to 20%. You wouldn't consciously do that. And I'm not saying don't have money in the bank. You need money in the bank for emergencies. But, like, wouldn't it make sense if you just did that? Like, well, first of all, we can't do that. I can't loan $1 out 9 times. And I've tried. I can't do it.
A good point about that. So Angela says, who gives an F about credit when you have cash? The Tray does. What is the Tray?
Okay, let me tell you why banks use credit. See, cash is good, but money sitting in cash is going backwards. Inflation is at 2-3%. Cash is at 0. So money sitting in cash, you're losing 3%. Now, you need to have money in cash for emergencies. I'm not saying don't do that. But, like, when you can take money, like, you guys, the Federal Reserve is loaning people, and I know I'm sweating like a slave. It's just I'm hot. But the Federal Reserve is loaning people money for 0.5%, 1%. And they're then loaning it out for 3, 4. The SBA is getting money at 1%, loaning it out for 4. They're keeping the spread. Like, you have money in cash. Yeah, that's true. But for emergencies, after that, you put your money to work. You know, like right now, I know. I'm gonna give you guys a tip. Those of you like cars and car payments, I'm gonna give you something I should not be telling you. And if my partners knew I was telling you this, they would be pissed at me. But I'm gonna give it to you anyway, right? Do you realize you can go into your neighborhood DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, tell them that I want my dealer's license, car dealer's license. In California, it's $125 in a form. You find a car dealer, walk down the street, I don't know, ask one of your buddies, you know anybody that works for a car dealership, whatever. And you go in there and say, hey, I got my dealer's license. I want to go to these car auctions and buy cars. They say, all right, like I got a guy, he wants $50 a car, right? So I go in there and I buy something that is $5,000 on the street, but is $2,500 at this auction. And I buy it. And then I sell it. And then I do it again, and I keep doing it. People are like, how many cars you have? I don't own no cars. I got 10 in my neighborhood, but those are investments.
Right.
My HOA is like looking for me. They wonder who those cars belong to.
Well, you've given us a lot of information. So, guys, you get thank you so much, Walter. I mean, because there's so much financial advice. I swear for God. But the stock market class is going to be this Saturday at June 27th at 7 p.m. Central Time. So please do check your time zones. If you want to get in, you can cash app $25 to $ Walter Lee C1 is right there on the screen. If you're interested in this class, I suggest that you do not miss it because it will not be recorded. And depending on how well this one goes over, we'll do it again. You know, if there's an interest for it, which I would hope that there is. And so,
okay, well, can I address something really quick?
Sure.
Okay, I'm looking in the comments section, you guys. We got to stop with. So, and I'm looking at my man Charles. What up, Charles? I was in your hood this weekend. I'll be back in 2 weeks. The rule says you can only sell so many cars as a public person. As an individual, but as a business owner, you can sell 1 million. When you go in and you get your salesperson, I'm not telling you to really do this. I'm just telling you what I do. If I want to drive a Range Rover for 3 months, I go to the auction and buy it. And when I'm done with it, I sell it. I can sell unlimited, right? So I'm giving you advice based as a professional. And then somebody was talking about gold and silver. You guys, can we just get to the point? Stop with the gold stuff. Like, the dollar's not backed by gold, so what? Like, somebody was like, I'm buying gold. And doing what with it? Like, put your money to work. Gold is at an all-time high. When the stock market, when the world gets scary, gold goes up. What's going on with the world right now? The world is panicking. Gold is at an all-time high. Those of you who are buying gold, like I say, thou that catches a falling knife shall get cut. You get the shirt off your back, thou shalt be naked. There's a Bible verse for you. Put your money to work where you can see it. Like, stop with the conspiracy comments about the gold and all that stuff. Like, those are diversions, you guys. Put your money to work. Find you somebody, a partner, and you guys get together and put your money to work. And if there's a black business, let's tell each other about it. Stop with the conspiracy stuff, because gold ain't doing shit for black people. They ain't doing nothing.
Let me ask you a question. If we sign up for the class, pay the $25, how do we get the link? You're gonna inbox it? How are you gonna do that?
Yes. So right now I'm finishing the class. So tomorrow you'll get the link. What I want everyone to do is send me a message, because most of you guys that are signing for the class have sent me a message on Facebook, or we're now Facebook friends. Send me a message on Facebook so I could get it to you. That way I don't have to go on Cash App and track everyone down. So tomorrow, everyone's going to be getting a link. We're going to be doing a Zoom link, and then everyone will have the link, and we'll go from there. And so then I'm also going to take questions too, and I'm going to open the floor. So you can ask me anything you want about money. I'm going to mainly talk about stocks and stock options, but I'm going to talk about all kinds of stuff that you can use to build your wealth. So if that makes sense. So yeah, Charles, get your license, man. Next time your buddy wants a Range Rover, have him buy it from you.
Final thoughts, Don.
Man, great information as always. Whenever wisdom talks, Donovan takes notes. That's why you saw me writing and scribbling and doing all that other good stuff.
I'm really
And I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to tell you guys again, get something for the vote. I don't care who you vote for, but get something for the vote.
Yeah. And then I'm under Walter Lee Coulter. I don't know, Donovan, you can put that on the screen if you want. My Facebook name. I'm wearing, I think, a the hell am I wearing? On my Facebook page, I think I'm I don't know what I'm wearing in Facebook. You probably know what my Facebook photo looks like. I'm either I can tell you right now. My Facebook profile. Oh, I'm in a gray jacket, white shirt, pink pants, and then my pic. I think my two kids are on. In my profile picture, my two kids are my daughter and my son are asleep in the picture. So, yeah, let's have some fun Saturday, you guys. Let's make it worth. Let's make some money, because I think right now is a good time to be in the market. You know, the market's come down some, which is a buying opportunity. I'm telling you guys, those of us that do this, next year we are going to be dancing in the street. So, and as soon as this vaccine shows up or this cure, it's going down. You don't want to have money that you don't need and that you should have put to work. And they say, oh, Moderna did it. Or, Novavax or one of these companies, they cracked it. The virus is done. The money in the stock market it's going to be like, boom, boom. It's out of here. I'm telling you. Don't be that person that's like, oh, I had a chance. Don't do that. And I'm only talking about money that you don't need for expenses. And if you have expenses that you can get rid of, let them go. Let's get this money. If it makes sense.
Demetri, final thoughts.
5 o'clock's class.
So my final thoughts is I agree with Donovan. Some great information. Again, if you want to be a part of it, there's instructions right there on the screen. Do not miss it. It is at 7 o'clock Central Time. Then adjust for where your time zone is. And so, thank you so much for showing up once again. And I'd like to say, Charles, thank you so much for the connect. We are going to, I won't say his name just yet, have a special guest on the show tomorrow. So once again, Charles Edwards, thank you so much for giving me that connection.
My final thoughts are simple. The game is to be sold, not told. This man is going to give us some $1 million information for $25. Most of the time when you sit down with people like him, it costs you a grip. But, he did it because we asked him. It is your opportunity. You don't have shit going on. They finna shut down. If you in Texas, you might as well get to this money, man. They finna show you they done messed up and your money going to be messed up for a minute. So you might want to get to this money, man. Let this man talk to us. Y'all thinking I'm laying here sleeping. I'm writing. I told you, when the rich folk talking, I don't do no talking. I just sit and listen. And man, when I tell y'all, man, that's how you suck the game up. So make sure that you sign up for the class, man. I'm already signed up the first night. I'm ready to go. It's 7 o'clock. So what happens to the war zone at 7 Saturday? Ain't no war zone. Ain't no war zone Saturday. We gonna get this money, man. Y'all feel me? We gonna get this money, man. So I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Well, we all appreciate you guys tuning in. But Saturday is going down, man. I'm telling you. Say without a shadow of a doubt. Y'all gotta be crazy, man. I am a bona fide hustler. I don't sleep on no money. I just shut my mouth and I listen. So thank you for tuning in to another episode of the War Zone. My co-host Donovan Sadiq, the Queen Demetri K, and the money man himself, Walter Couture. If you signed up for that class Saturday, stay your broke ass home. But we gonna be in Jamaica next year about this time, man.
Oh yeah.
We'll holler at you.
Thank you.